Hey YouTube, what's going on? So today we're gonna talk a little bit. Gonna make a long-awaited video on water fasting, my experience with it. First thing I will tell you, it was amazing, literally amazing. One of the coolest experiences I've ever had. So if you don't know much about it, all it is you don't eat for X amount of days. You just drink water. Sounds tough. I did 5 days, and it wasn't as hard as everybody says it was. You know, there's a lot of things to it as far as, you know, having symptoms and withdrawal from food and all this stuff that people talk about. But I didn't really experience much of that. Part of which was because I only did 5 days, but also, you know, because if you're doing the diet that I've already, you know, told you about for a long period of time, you're not going to have crazy headaches and weird shit going on in the first couple of days with your body because you're fairly well detoxed, you know, to that point already. But I would look into it for everybody who has tried almost everything and is still kind of struggling to get rid of their psoriasis. I would take a look, do some research, because, look, I've talked about it in other videos. We are definitely not meant to just consume shit all the time. Like, who decided, when did we decide as a society that 3 meals a day was like the norm? This is what we do. We eat 3 times a day. I mean, when? That's definitely not how it was years and years ago. People didn't have Stop and Shop. They didn't have the convenience store. They didn't have access to food that we have right now. You can't just walk down the street and pick up a bunch of food. Or you couldn't walk down the street and pick up a bunch of food, which you can now. So I don't know where this notion came from that we have to eat 3 times a day. You're not gonna melt, you're not gonna die if you miss a fucking meal. Like, it's just simple as that. And every time, you know, especially like my close friends, when I tell them I did this, or they ask me about it, they're like, I can't believe you did that. That's so crazy, I could never do that. You could, you just choose not to because you're in that pleasure zone. You're just eating to eat. That's what we do. I love food. I was the hugest foodie back in the day. It wasn't that long ago. But look into it. There's a lot of stuff to it. I'm going to go over a couple things right now that you should just, you know, pay attention to if you decide you want to do this. A, you can't be on any medication whatsoever. So they say. I wasn't on any, I'm not on any, so that one didn't apply for me. Also, don't do it at a time that's going to be stressful for you. Do it when you have time on vacation. If you take a vacation from work, take 7 days, 5 days, whatever it is, and literally just relax while you do this. This is not something that you can do. You know, I didn't work out for 5 days. I didn't go to the gym. All I did at least once a day was take a 45 to an hour long walk, just down the street, uptown, like, didn't matter, just to get out of the house, because you're going to be bored. And it was funny to notice the times, especially like the first 2 days, where I got bored, where I was just bored, like I just didn't know what to do with myself and I wanted to eat. And I'm like, you know, I feel hungry a little bit, but I'm not so hungry that I couldn't miss it, and, you know, I couldn't skip a meal right now and not worry about it. I was just bored and wanted to do something, so I wanted to consume something. I don't know why that is, but we do it. So they say a lot of the times first couple days are tough. You experience headaches, white coating on your tongue and things like that. Didn't happen to me. I don't know if part of it was because, like I said, I've been doing this diet for a while. So I didn't have caffeine withdrawals or anything like that because I wasn't really consuming much caffeine. But the first 2 days were kind of tough. You were like, you wanted to eat, you were kind of hungry. Actually, second day you were really hungry, and you're like, damn man, I just want to eat something. But by the third day, I was good. I really didn't care to eat. I was fine. The only time I had a problem was when I went to hang out with my friends. They weren't doing much. They were just, can't remember if we were watching the Bruins game or if, I forget, but there was nothing going on. But then they all started eating. They were like cooking burgers and eating cheese doodles and shit. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm starving, I gotta get out of here. So I left. And yeah, other than that, days 4 and 5 were simple as cake. Like, I wasn't even remotely hungry. I didn't even care. I was just like, oh, living the dream. And what's amazing is my energy levels were so high. Like, I was not starved for energy at all whatsoever. You think you would be. It was cool. You had a very like lucid, thought process. Your mind felt clear, and it was very clean. It was very clean. Yeah, so honestly, I wish I went longer. I wish I did 7 to 10 days, because my body was fine, and I knew I was fine, and I felt fine. I could have kept going, but it was my first try. I didn't know what to expect completely, and I was like, all right, well, I gotta go, back to work on day 6. So I was like, shit, I'm just gonna break it on day 5. So I will probably do one every year or every other year forever. Like, it was that cool. And honestly, I'm still feeling, 3 months later, more like I have since I, came down with heavy psoriasis. Like, no tired, lethargy, nothing like that. My energy levels are still wicked high. So look, I would honestly look into it if you haven't had any luck doing the diet or anything else. Oh, and just to prove a point too, so on day 5, right? And it's just to prove that this is all tied to digestion. On day 5, right, haven't consumed anything for 5 days, my scalp psoriasis was literally, it looked like it was almost gone. And then when I started consuming stuff, it slowly came back. So I'm still trying to figure out, you guys know, I'm still trying to figure it out on my scalp, but it's getting better. It's getting better. So right now I'm actually going to give this baking soda a try. I'm drinking baking soda in water, which I've been researching for the last couple weeks. So I will tell you guys about that in a couple days, see how it goes, and if you should to give it a shot as well. So anything I ever recommend to you guys, I will only recommend it to you if I've tried it myself and feel like it works. I'm not going to just say shit to say shit. So everyone have a good day. If you have any questions, start a discussion in the channel. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that you're wondering about with the water fast that I didn't cover, but the video is already running 7 minutes, so have a good day.